And today it's getting harder and harder to tap into our own wisdom because we are all so hyper-connected to our devices, our screens, our social media, that we're having a hard time disconnecting from technology and reconnecting with ourselves. What I'm telling you is to regularly disconnect from technology, to regularly unplug and recharge in order to reconnect with ourselves and our own deepest wisdom.
I finally get to LA. I have to pursue my dream, because if I don't, what am I teaching my son? And I have to fight the good fight, because people are telling me I can't. You can't do this. You can't. Are you crazy? You're moving to California with your son. You'll never make it. If you listen to people and if you allow people to project their fears onto you, you won't live.
To me, entrepreneurship is about creating change, not just creating companies. And the most effective entrepreneurs who I've met care deeply about some mission and some change that they're trying to create, and often they don't even start because they're trying to create a company. The entrepreneurs who I think build things that last for a long time keep going because they care fundamentally about the change that they're trying to create in the world, and they're not in it just to build a company.
Standing here with 19 championships is something I never thought would happen. I went on the courts with just a ball and a racket and a hope, and that's all I had. And it's inspiring for all you guys out there that want to do something and want to be the best that you can be and want to do the best that you can do. You just never give up, because you never know what can happen. You never know who you can inspire and who you can influence. So I'm so honored.
Growing up, my dad used to encourage my brother and me to fail. So at the dinner table, he would actually ask us, what did you fail at this week? And if we didn't have something to tell him, he would actually be disappointed. I can remember coming home from school and be like, Dad, I tried out for this and I was horrible. And he'd be like, way to go, and high-five me. It was such a gift what he was doing. I didn't realize it at the time, but he was redefining failure for me. And so failure became not about the outcome, but about not trying.
It is okay to be scared. It is okay to cry. Everything is okay, but giving up should not be an option. They always say that failure is not an option. Failure should be an option, because when you fail, you get up, and then you fail, and then you get up, and that keeps you going. That's how humans are strong. Failure is an option, should be an option, but giving up is not. Never.
First day's over, and she said, you did a great job, but now you've got to finish up and you've got to take all the gum off the floor. I said to her, look, you hired me as a scooper, not a scraper. And she said, no, I hired you as an employee. You do whatever I say. I own this store. If I'd known that, I probably wouldn't take this position. She said, how about this? You're fired. She said, it means you get back on your bicycle, go home, don't come back here. I was so humiliated. But this is horrible. Whatever she says I have to do, I'm not going to live my life that way. I never worked another day in my life for somebody, ever again.
Doesn't matter where you come from, what you have or don't have, what you lack, what you have too much of, but all you need to have is faith in God, an undying passion for what you do or what you choose to do in this life, and a relentless drive and the will to do whatever it takes to be successful and whatever you put your mind to. Make sure you live in the moment and work your butt off every single day. And I hope I inspire people all around the world to just be themselves, be humble, and be grateful for all the blessings in your life.
People only fail because they get caught up into what winning was. You're supposed to fail at some point in time. Perfection is only a word because imperfection was discovered. You can't be perfect without knowing what imperfect is. I would urge anybody listening, anybody watching, to really, really look into what their definition of success is. Because it should be yours, not other people's perception, not their definition. Success to you is what it will always be. So a win is always a win when you know what it is to you, not what it is to other people.
My best business decisions really have to do with picking people. Deciding to go into partnership with Paul Allen, hiring a friend, Steve Ballmer, and having somebody who you totally trust, who's totally committed, who shares your vision, and yet has a little bit different set of skills, and also acts as a check on you. It's not only made it fun, but it's really led to a lot of success. So picking a partner is crucial.
My love for myself could not be based on other people. We spend time on everything to do with hair and makeup and clothes and on other people, looking at other people, talking to other people. But I felt like I wasn't spending any time actually thinking, who am I? Like, I don't know who I am. And I feel like in a relationship, whether it's with yourself or whether it's with somebody else, you have to know yourself, to love yourself. We never get into relationships with people or friendships with people without knowing them.
I think everyone is different and unique, and that's a good thing. It's not bad. It's kind of the best thing in the world. You don't want to be like everyone else. What's special is the fact that you're different, and is the fact that you're unique, and that you can bring something to the table. So if anything, embrace that thing that you have that no one else does, and expand upon it and make it better, and tell everyone about it, and be confident in it. Because if you're confident and happy and smiling, you will attract confidence, happiness, and laughter.
One of the biggest mistakes people generally make, and I'm guilty of it too, is wishful thinking. You know, like, you want something to be true even if it isn't true. And so you ignore the things that, you ignore the real truth because of what you want to be true. This is a very difficult trap to avoid. But if you just take that approach of you're always to some degree wrong, and your goal is to be less wrong.
The most important thing about running a company is to remember all the time what a company is. A company is simply a group of people, and as a leader of people, you have to be a great listener, you have to be a great motivator, you have to be very good at praising and looking for the best in people, and that's a critical attribute of a leader.
Most people do a lot of talking, and most people don't put in the effort. There's nothing you can't accomplish in life with the right amount of work. The challenge is, you know, are you willing to do the work? And the reality is, most people aren't, but that's the opportunity, right? It's like people you know at school. Most people are lazy, right? They barely get through it, and so that creates opportunity.
Every stage in life can be an adventure. You don't have to be defined. If you didn't make it in your 20s, you can make it in your 30s. And if you didn't make it in your 30s, you can make it in your 40s. And if you didn't make it in your 40s, you can make it in your 50s. And just remember Grandma Moses. You know who that is? Oh, please tell me you remember Grandma Moses. She was a painter. And she didn't start painting until, I think, in her 80s. And one of the most prolific painters.
Never too late.
Never too late.
Never
So have fun. That's what it's all about.
There's a time in all of our lives where we want to get ahead, where we have an ambition, where we want to do more, where we want to succeed further. And sometimes we hit a wall and we don't know how to get past it. And we realize at the end of it, you know, hopefully you get to the point where you realize the only thing that's stopping you is you. And you can break through any barrier. But sometimes that's a long road. That's a hard journey.
Be patient. Everything in life will go exactly how it's supposed to go. At times you will feel like an outcast, that you don't fit in, but you will discover that being your own clique will be your strongest attribute. In life, you're going to face many challenges, many moments of adversity. There are going to be a lot of successes and some failures too. Those moments are going to create your character, build your integrity, and they will become your beauty marks.
I said is that when I graduated from college, Mark Zuckerberg was in elementary school. And the lesson you draw from that, and I really mean this so deeply, do not try to draw a straight line. And you know what really matters here is if you try to plan out your career, anyone who thinks you know exactly what you're going to do for the next 30 years, here's what I promise for 40 years, it's going to be boring, and you're going to miss all the good stuff. Because all the good stuff hasn't been invented yet.
Self-doubt comes at random times. You're not prepared for self-doubt. I'm one of them people who can get motivated very easily. But in the sense of getting motivated very easily, you can be down on yourself and have self-doubt very easily. Not thinking you're great enough, not thinking you're enough. But I was always able to pull from things or pull from people and allow them to bring me back. Wow. I always tell my son that allow the people around you. God has put these people in your life for a reason. So allow your friends, allow me, allow the people you trust around you to bring you back.
All I have to say is that this is hard work. I've worked hard for a long time. It's not about winning, but what it's about is not giving up. If you have a dream, fight for it. If there's a discipline for passion, and it's not about how many times you get rejected but you fall down or you're beaten up. It's about how many times you stand up and are brave and you keep on going.
If I'm miserable, if I'm upset, if I'm angry, if I'm cranky, it is my responsibility because it's based on what I'm thinking or believing in that moment. It's not the outside world causing me to feel this. It's what I'm doing up here that's making me have that reaction. And if I'm the problem, I am also the solution.